Okay, it looks like we're here and it looks like we're live. Let me double check this real quick. Welcome everybody. It's Thursday morning. Yep, here we go. It's Thursday morning and it is once again episode number 12 now. Not once again, but episode number 12 for the love of real estate. And I'm happy to see you guys here today. We have a lot to talk about again today. This is going to be for sellers, for buyers, and for agents today. So this episode is all about really what's holding you back. So my name is Susan Johnson. I'm with eXp Real Estate, and I'm Susan Johnson and Associates. And again, this is episode number 12 for the love of real estate. So welcome, and hopefully you're able to join us. And I like to just kind of act like we're just hanging out, who'd be out in one of our wineries having a glass of wine together, or in a living room just sitting and chatting. And I want to just sit here and talk a little bit to you, and hopefully you're going to love the conversation and give you some great value. So first of all, I decided to talk about the what's holding you back, just based on some of the conversations in the last couple of weeks I've been having with buyers, sellers, and agents. So that's kind of how this all came together for the topic today. So what's holding you back? And we're going to break it down first. And let's just overall talk about what's going on in the real estate market. My gosh, we in Southern California, and this is Facebook, so you're seeing this kind of everywhere, but Temecula Valley is where I'm at. And I mean, our real estate market is hot right now. I mean, it is on fire. We are so busy, even with COVID, we are breaking records. I mean, it is just astounding what's going on. So I want to share with you a little bit about that. In fact, here are some statistics, and this is right from our MLS, so you'll know this is where I get the numbers from. Temecula, for example, Temecula, Murrieta, Menifee. I'm going to give you some quick statistics for the month of July. Well, right now we've got active on the market in Temecula, 173. That's not very many houses, okay? So there's low inventory right now. Pending sales, there's 310 pending sales, and sold in July, 284 homes sold in July in Temecula. Average sales price about $562,044, and guess what? That's up 5.9% from last year. So that's a credible jump just from last year. Again, the inventory is very low. We've only gotten about a 1.5 month supply of houses, so we need more listings. Murrieta, check this out, 190 active listings, 454 pending sales. This is for current, and in the month of July, 319 closed sales. Average sales price there about $497,260, and that is up 6.6% from last year. And then Menifee, this is astounding. Listen to this. Active, only 124 houses, 344 pending sales, and 263 sales closed in July. But check this out, 405, 107 average sales price, up 10.2% from last year. So that is huge. You can see it. We've just been moving up. Sellers, or homeowners, if you're thinking about selling your home, what is stopping you? Okay, we'll get into the COVID stuff in a minute, but let's just talk about, first we'll talk to the sellers, then we'll talk about buyers, what might be stopping some buyers from making their decisions right now from buying, and then I want to talk to you, the agents. All right, what's stopping you from connecting with your buyers and sellers? So here we go. Sellers, what could be holding you back? Well, let's think about this. There's sellers that often think, well, gosh, I don't have the right home. I haven't found my dream home yet, so I don't want to put my house on the market until I find the exact dream home that I want to purchase. Well, let me tell you that right now, this market is so hot that you don't have the time to be able to find a house, then list your house, wait for it to get in the market or get in escrow before that house is already sold. So as a professional agent and broker, we can consult with you, or I can consult with you, or any real estate agent can consult with you, and they can share with you tips that they can do to protect you. We were never going to sell your house out from under you, okay? There's something called a seller contingency. And this is what a lot of sellers don't know, that if you really want to find your dream home, you need to be ready. In this hot market, you've got to have a buyer already in escrow and a signed contract on your current home to be able to get that offer accepted. It's going to be very hard to find a house for you unless you've got that. And the seller contingency simply looks like this. You put your house on the market contingent upon you, the seller, finding another home. And we don't keep that open-ended, like the buyer's not going to wait a few months, but we put a little time frame on there. Usually, 14, 21 days. A buyer will usually wait. If they love your house, they're going to usually wait for you to find that other house, and you will actively be searching already. But we have the seller contingency so that you can secure that buyer and then find your home and write a contract and go into escrow. Again, we can consult in person with you or on a Zoom call and give you even more information, but just know your house will not be sold out from underneath you without you finding that beautiful new home. We have protection clauses for you on that. All right, what else is sellers could be holding you back? Some of the other things that I've heard are, well, gosh, we might just keep it as a rental. We might not actually want to sell our house. So instead, we just want to go find houses, and we may just go ahead and keep our house as a rental. And so let's just go ahead and go look for homes. Well, again, it's a great idea to have that consultation with the agent so that you can sit down and actually look at the numbers, decide what that budget's going to be to keep your house as a rental, what it's going to rent for, okay, and see if it makes sense. Does it make sense to keep it as a rental, or does it make more sense to go ahead and sell it and then buy your next home and move the equity? Okay, so without that clarity, you're again just kind of shooting in the dark, and it's really hard to make some really good decisions. So those are a couple of things that we're coming up with sellers that I've talked to in the last couple of weeks. We're not sure if we're going to sell or we're just going to rent, so we just want to look at houses and we'll decide later. It's best to have the consultation, get the numbers. And as an agent and broker, what we do is we'll actually run the numbers and do some estimates for you. And you will have those figures that you can make sound decisions moving forward. And it's very, very helpful. Okay. And that's the next one. We don't know how much we're going to get from the sale of our home. So most people think that when they meet with an agent, it means they've got to sign a contract right away. Look, we are consultants first, okay? I meet with people all the time. Sometimes they're ready to list their home now. Sometimes it's 3 months from now. Sometimes it's a year from now. And sometimes they just decide to put it on the market up for as a rental. And either way is okay. The whole thing is you need to explore what opportunities you have as a seller and say, okay, what is the best decision? So when we meet as a consultation and do the consultation together, we're going to go through all that, all right? So you're going to know what you're going to net if you sell the home, what you could get if you decide you want to rent it out, and then you can make, again, some great decisions. All right, another thing that tends to hold sellers back. Oh my gosh, we've got so much we have to do to prepare the home for sale. Oh no, Susan, I don't want you to come over to the house yet. I've got to fix it all up. And I'm saying, no, wait, that's the best time for me to come over. Let me come over and walk the house with you. And I can actually give you some great tips to prepare your home for sale, and then let you know what you can do to make sure you're going to recoup the return on your investment and getting it ready, and also help you with some staging tips. So that's the best time, actually. Let us come do the consultation, see your home, and help you with a plan to get your home ready for sale. Okay? Don't let that stop you. Don't let it hold you back. All right, and finally, understand what the consultation is about. It's simply that, exploring what your opportunities are, exploring and understanding how the process works so that you're in a hot market right now. What do you need to do if you want to sell your home and buy that dream home? What does that look like? And when you have a professional realtor helping you, we walk you through every step of the way. All right, so sellers, hopefully that might have cleared a little bit up. This today is just touching on what might be some of the things holding you back from listing that home today. Again, it's a hot market for sellers. Goodness, we were out showing property last weekend and there were some lines going into houses. It was crazy. So this is a great time, sellers. If you want to sell your home, get that consultation and take some action. It's a great time for that. All right, buyers, now it's time for you. Let's talk to you. And sellers, you've then become your buyers. So now you're changing hats. What could be holding you back? Goodness, right now, we can say it's a seller's market because there's very low inventory. All right, so sellers are getting almost full price for their house, if not full price for their house almost all the time right now. It's crazy. I don't want to always say that because it's not always the circumstance, but predominantly it is if the house is priced right and they're getting multiple offers. It's just a crazy market. However, I do want to say this, buyers, it's a great time to buy too. Why is that? Well, interest rates are the lowest they've been, I think historically. My goodness, I've been doing this over 20 years and I cannot even, I've never been in a market where we've had interest rates under 3%. We just put a buyer in escrow on an FHA loan this last week for a 2.375 interest rate. I mean, that's crazy. I mean, this is insanely good. Buyers have so much more buying capacity with an interest rate that low. Now, I'm not quoting that rate because you have to see a lender, make sure, what you qualify for and, your credit scores and everything else. So we can connect you with a great lender so you can know what interest rate you can get and how much home you can actually purchase. All right, so buyers, what's holding you back in a market like this where the opportunity is huge? Here's another thing we hear a lot. We hear, well, goodness, I don't want to talk financing right now with a lender until I find the right house. I want to actually go look at all the houses first. And then when I find the house I like, then I'll talk to the lender. Well, why is that not a really great idea? I mentioned before when I talked about the sellers, we are in a really hot market. Listen, houses are hardly even on the market for a couple of days right now before there's multiple offers on them. All right, you need to be prepared. A professional realtor is going to actually do a consultation with you, a buyer as well. Think about, again, a consultation. That's why we want to meet with you. Buyers will want to go out and run around and look at houses right out the gate, okay? And the reason that's not the best idea is you need to understand what today's market is looking like. And a professional realtor is going to actually consult you to position you for the best negotiations so that you can win the bid, so that you can win multiple offers. By the way, that last scenario I just gave you about the buyer we put in escrow at the 2.375 rate, they were not even the highest bid on the house, and they won the bid. That's what working with a great realtor or broker does. Right, we won it. My buyer is in escrow, and we won that multiple offer, and we weren't even the highest price. Okay, how does that happen? That happens by having a consultation in the very beginning, connecting you with an awesome lender, getting the pre-approval done so that you know how much home you want to buy, making sure we get your payments right in the zone you want them to be, pulling all the houses up in the whole area that match what you're looking for in your criteria and your price range. And you are ready to negotiate as soon as you find that house and it hits the market. It was day one, of course, on the market. We already have your pre-approval. You can't start on day one of finding a home and then go and call and try to get pre-approval. The house will be in escrow by then. It'll be in escrow by the time you get your pre-approval done. It's too late. You've lost out. So buyers, please understand that as agents, when we connect you with a lender, it's really, again, about making sure you're being consulted and we're working in your best interest. That's truly what it's about. It's about positioning you in a strength position and getting you ready to help you. That's what we do. It's what we're professional with. So another thing, what else could be holding a buyer back? So they want to usually go out and they don't want to usually talk financing, and it's really important to do that because, okay, like that first buyer, I'm going to keep going back. They have great credit. We were thinking they get maybe a 3% interest rate. When they found out that they could get a 2.375 interest rate over a 3% interest rate, what did that do for that buyer? Their payment now, they were able to buy more home because their payment was still the same. Does that make sense? If it doesn't, again, when I connect you to a great lender, you'll understand that. What else can hold a buyer back? They don't understand taxes. Do you know that, let's just say a $400,000 home in one neighborhood, let's go ahead and say Temecula. There's one neighborhood in Temecula. There's a house that's 400,000, and then you can go to another neighborhood in Temecula for the same 400,000. And the price and the payment on both houses are going to be significantly different. Why? Because one house has special assessments and higher taxes, maybe a 2% tax rate, and another has maybe a 1.25% tax rate. There's no special assessments, or they're very low. Or maybe one has an HOA, a homeowner association, the other one does not. So you see, when people say, gosh, you know, we want to find a home that's about 400,000 is our budget. Again, they need to understand, and if they talk to their lender and we get them pre-approved, they're going to be educated. They're going to be in the driver's seat. Okay, if you've watched any of my other shows, we talk about you as the buyer, as the seller, being in, or the agent being in the driver's seat, so you can really control and know exactly what your path is going to be. It's about educating, and as agents, we consult you. All right, this is all in your best interest. So buyers, you know, you get online, they go online, they start looking at all these houses, and they just want to go out and run around and look at houses, but they're not prepared. When I coach agents, I talk about pulling the arrow back. I actually do the same thing for buyers and sellers, pulling the arrow back and being prepared. When you prepare yourself, you're going to have a much better result in finding the home, in selling your home, and actually through the whole escrow process. I hope I'm making a lot of sense to you. Please, you know, message me. You can make a comment. You can private message me, and I'll give you a call. You can certainly find my number. We can have a consultation, and I'd be happy to walk you through in more depth about these decisions. So getting these consultations and getting your pre-approval, making sure you're working with a great lender, that's enormous. Don't just go online. Okay, I'm all about the face-to-face, and even now, if it's a Zoom call, if you're, you know, we'll get into the COVID, like I said, in a minute. Even if it's a Zoom call, I believe in accountability to the lender, to the agent, buyer, seller. So, you know, when somebody says, well, I've gone on to Quicken Loans or, you know, something online, you know, and they don't have an actual person that's accountable to what they're being promised, makes me very nervous for the client. So again, in our consultation, I'll go through that a little bit more. You know, we don't get anything from our lenders when you work with our lenders. We just want to make sure, as agents and brokers, we want to make sure you as the buyer are getting the best rate and term, and you're being taken care of. That is our goal. Okay, so hopefully, again, we're giving you some tips. If you're on the fence, buyer or seller, what's holding you back? I hope I touched on some of those topics. And again, we can go further if you want to reach out to me. I'll get a consultation with you, and we can dive a little bit deeper for you to get you know, some more information. COVID, that's also holding people back. They don't understand. They're like, oh my gosh, I don't want, you know, anybody coming into my house, or I don't want to walk anybody else's home. My goodness, we are, believe me, we have been extremely prepared. We were deemed an essential service as real estate 2 weeks in to the COVID epidemic. And we've been given a tremendous amount of protocol that we follow. And when you're selling your house, we have all sorts of, signs that we put up. We make sure everybody's wearing face masks. We can provide gloves, booties if you'd like. We have sanitizer. There's a lot of protocol. We have everybody sign what's called a property entry advisory disclosure form. So sellers, when people come into your home, they'll have to sign that form, and they have to have it provided to us. We only allow a limited number of people coming into the home at a time. So it's very controlled, all right? Buyers, same thing. So you know you can go into people's homes, but we're not touching anything, and it's only a limited number of people. And the same thing, masks, gloves and booties if you'd like, hand sanitizer, and we take huge amount of precautions to make sure everybody is protected. All right. So this market would not be so hot right now if people were not out, you know, selling and people were not buying, and it is a very hot market. So just understand and know that we have all been, you know, now very well trained as professional realtors, and we are taking a huge amount of precaution to protect ourselves and, of course, to protect all of you. Okay, so buyers and sellers, I hope I addressed some of those concerns of what may be holding you back from getting your home on the market to sell, or from buyers to actually getting out there and finding that beautiful new home. All right, so let's get together and make some of those things happen. Agents, I'm talking to you now. Let's talk to you. My goodness. What is stopping you from connecting to all of these wonderful buyers and sellers that want to sell their home and want to buy right now? What's stopping you? Okay. Agents, we are trained to prospect, right? We know that every day our livelihood is based on prospecting, following up, reaching out and connecting with buyers and sellers. That's what we do. All right. And, you know, it's truly important for you to pick up the phone. Okay. And a lot of people have a big fear. A lot of agents have a fear of picking up the phone and calling people. And quite frankly, you need to get over that. And that's easier said than done. So now, if you want to take a time, hopefully you'll listen very closely to some of the tips here that I'm going to give you about getting through and having a breakthrough of how to connect with the buyers and sellers, because they are ready, willing, able, and wanting to buy their dream homes. And it's up to us to help them realize these dreams. Change the way you look at things, and the things you look at change. Are there people out there that aren't going to want to talk to you? Sure, but that's okay, because that means they're not ready. And you know what? The next person probably will be. I have over 2,000 people right now on my website, and they're on there all the time. So we're on there daily, making calls to them. And some people are ready now, some people are a little further out. And it's okay if somebody's further out. I simply say, fantastic. We want you to know we're right here in the Temecula Valley. I'm a live person. And if you need my help, have any questions, feel free to reach out to me anytime. I will be in contact. I'll just touch base with you from time to time. So you see, I don't want to, if somebody's not ready, they're not ready. You're not going to make them be ready. That's okay. So change the way you're looking at things. I hope I'm making some sense to you. But let's go a little bit deeper here. Let's talk about the word neuroassociation. Okay, neuroassociation is about how you associate something. When people hear the word prospecting, or picking up the phone, they think automatically, they associate that with a fear of rejection. So I want you to write this down. If you're in a place you can write this down, I want you to think, what if I'm able to break through that fear? What if I'm able to break through the fear of actually picking up the phone and making a call? All right. I'm not saying everybody is afraid to do this, but you'd be surprised at how many people are. They're so afraid of being rejected. And what you're going to find out, again, write it down. What if I'm able to break through? What if I'm able to break through this fear? What will my business look like? Okay, what will this do for my family? What will this do for the people that I'm helping? Okay, we've made amazing relationships. Good morning. I'm seeing a lot of people making comments on here. Good morning, Kathy, Shane, Candace, Wesley. I'm seeing all sorts of wonderful comments. Thanks for commenting. My Facebook screen's to the left, so if you see me look over here, I'm kind of seeing who's messaging me here. But anyway, what will your business look like if you start taking action and picking up the phone? You're going to be surprised at how many people actually love to talk about real estate. It's amazing. So step one is to change that story, because all you're doing is telling yourself in your head a story. Okay, so if you have, you're doing a lot of marketing as an agent, and you're driving people into your websites, and they're picking up, and they're going on your website and they're saying, hey, I'm looking at houses here. They're kind of raising their hand saying, I'm interested in finding a home, or I may need to sell my home. Do you think they might need some help? Okay, maybe now, maybe down the line, but it's up to you to connect with them. So change the story of they don't want to hear from you, because quite frankly, they do. At some point, they're going to need you. Maybe they might not be ready today, and that's okay. At least you can let them know. I let people know, look, I'm not here to hound you, because I'm not. Believe me, I've got thousands of people on my site. I don't want to hound the people. I want them to feel very comfortable and confident when they're on my website, that they can just search, look at homes, but they know I'm right here, and at any moment in time, they can message me, text me, call me, and they do. I get them all the time. And I can answer a question for you, and there's no pressure that I'm going to say, okay, sign a contract right now. It's about whatever their needs are. We are here to match and meet their needs in their time frame to help them. Make sense? When you stop being a salesperson and start coming from contribution to help the sellers and buyers that, are looking to, to find their dream home or to sell their home and realize their real estate goals, you are serving a purpose and you're providing value. Okay. You need to internalize that and understand that. And the moment you do, you'll have a whole different perspective about picking up that phone. Okay. And you won't take it quite as personal. So change that story. It's a limiting belief, you guys. It's a limiting belief if you don't want to pick up the phone and you don't want to make that call to find out how you can help the person who's actually logging on to your website and looking at homes. All right. Change that limiting belief. Maybe it's your website. Maybe it's, your sphere of influence. Goodness, they already love you. Make a call and let them know, hey, you're make sure you're top of mind, or just even just check in on them and see how they're doing, for goodness sakes. If you haven't talked to them for a while, even with COVID, my goodness, check in on people. What else could you be holding you back, agents, though? What else could be holding you back? So if it's not the fear of picking up the phone, you're like, I'm really not afraid of that. What else could be the fear? Well, I'll tell you something else other than picking up the phone that you should be doing, because you hear it all the time. What about video? What about video text messaging? All right. How about connecting with people on another level? Video text messaging people, I don't like the way I look. Well, neither do I. I've got a big bright light in my face right now. And this just happened for me. And you've heard this a million times now. I just started this is now week 12. Okay, I've been doing this for 3 months now. So, but it was brand new. I'm used to live talking, not being in front of a camera or anything else. But video text messaging. In fact, I just got a listing appointment yesterday and this person was on my website, by the way, for 752 days. 752 days she was on my website. She's been getting my emails and my text messages and my properties. She wasn't ready 752 days ago. She's ready now. And I sent her a video message and she called me yesterday morning. I connected her to the lender and I'm meeting with her. So this is what happens. Make the connection. All right. So if you're afraid of the video, just start doing them. Just start doing them. And Krista Mayshore is amazing. You can watch some of her videos. I'm with her coaching now. She's one of my partners, but she's also with EXP, but she's also an amazing coach and has a wonderful coaching program. And I actually joined her coaching program because I just love her so much. And we have to be coached at every single level. And I got to tell you, she even talks about doing 10 text messages, text videos per day. It doesn't even have to be about real estate. So what's stopping you? Think about that, agents. Could it be the fear of, gosh, it has to be perfect. I might blunder or blooper my words. It's okay. You don't have to be perfect. I blunder and blooper my words all the time. Be authentic. Be you. All right. Come from contribution and it'll show up. Debbie Shelton, good to see you this morning on here. I love that you come on here, Deb. Anyway, I have to go look to the side here to see everybody logging on, but it's so great to see you all coming on. All right, let's step number 2. All right, so hey, let's just say I'm fine picking up the phone. I'm fine doing video text messages. I'm still not hitting my goals though. I'm still not doing my 10 video text messages per day. I'm still not talking to, 10 or 20 people a day about buying or selling. I'm still not following through with my commitment of my prospecting. What could be the second, number 2 problem you could be holding you back? I'm going to tell you right now, lack of desire. Lack of desire. You may have all the skills in the world. You may have been trained. You may know they're called scripts. We'll get there in a minute, but anyway, know what to say. But if you don't have the desire, if you don't have the burning desire to continue to grow and to help and to, then you're lacking your own motivation. And that's what's called your big why. Now, big why. Now, by the way, if you're a buyer, seller, or just somebody that's not in real estate and you're still listening to this, which I hope you are, the big why, it doesn't matter what you are, where you are in your life, it's going to drive you to whatever your goals are. We all have goals. All right. Your big why needs to be in ink. You need to write it down. And did you hear what I said? I said in ink. I just taught this portion of the course on our agent power huddle, which, by the way, agents, if you're not on, I did an invite to a whole bunch of you yesterday. And if you're not, message me and I'll get you invited onto it. It's Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. in the morning. We do a 30-minute power huddle. I just did this course there, and I did say, ink it. And then one of the top agents, she's an amazing agent. She goes, we let people interact on here. She said, remind people, inking it means you're handwriting. There's a difference between being a neuroassociation about being on a computer screen and typing something on how you're internalizing it when you're actually inking it and how you're internalizing it. Make sense? So in your big why, you need to have something that's going to make you jump out of bed each day, okay? That's going to drive you to take massive action. I follow Anthony Robbins, and I follow Krista Major, I'm going to say, and Jesse Zagorski, Brent Conley, Mike Bjorkman. These guys are they're all my business partners. And, I just love them to pieces because they've pumped me up again about the growth of my business. And we talk almost daily now, and we take massive action. And that's what I'm hoping I can do with all of you who might be listening to this today, is to take massive action. So you need to anchor that in. What you're doing is you're anchoring in that big why when you're writing it down. So if you have your skills, or you're working on your skills for picking up the phone, for following through, but your business is still going like this because you're very inconsistent, go into step number 2 and saying, what's your desire? What's your big why? Let's find that anchor that's going to continue to push you through every day. All right. What's it going to do for your family? What's it going to do for your children? What's it going to do for your life? All right. I share, a couple things. My oldest son, I just finished his last chemo treatment. He was diagnosed in February with stage 4 Hodgkin's lymphoma. And we went to urgent care thinking he had bronchitis. I didn't know I was going to bring this up, but I'm bringing it up. Hodgkin's lymphoma, stage 4. He thought he had bronchitis and ended up with stage 4 cancer. So he's been battling that since February. He moved in with me. He's one of my agents on my team. He was a former Marine, and now he's an agent. He was an agent on my real estate team. Well, guess what? He was actually not only an agent, he made basically my ISA. He was on the phones every day. He loved the phones, and he was on there every day getting results. So now he couldn't work at all. So now I'm having to carry and support, which of course I love, and I'm supporting, helping him through. But it's good to be in that position. You think I have a big why to continue to drive? I've got to help my son here as he's living and battling his cancer, living here in our home, to get through and continue our business to thrive because he can't work. Okay, that's a big why. All right, my daughter's going off to college. Very proud. She actually earned almost a full scholarship, I'm proud to say. My Taylor, she leaves on Saturday. see, I'm winging a lot of this. I've got a script and everything that I follow in my plan. But sometimes you guys, again, I'm very authentic. People know me. I share my wins, I share my losses, I share my life with you. But so my daughter Taylor, she's just earned herself almost a full scholarship on merit grades, and also she's an athlete. She's a tennis player, and she's going off to College of Idaho, and she leaves on Saturday. But there again, there's a portion of it that's not paid, and so I'm proud that I'm in a position that I can help her. I mean, these are the things that drive our whys. How can we help our families? What if I wasn't in the position to help? What if I wasn't in the position to help her with her housing? What if I wasn't in the position to help her with her move, with the balance of her tuition when she had almost a full ride scholarship? What's happening in your life? These are your big whys. Ink them and write them down. You think that helps me pick up the phone and follow through? Not only do I want to help and have the desire to help the people I'm helping, but I've got a family that I'm helping. I've got a business that I'm growing and a life that I'm growing, okay? So what is yours? Write it down. Step number 2. What else could be holding you back? So the first, is that fear. Your first step number 1, maybe the fear of your prospect. You pick up the phone, doing video text messages. Those could be fears holding you back. The second could be your desire, lack of desire. The second thing holding you back could be you're not anchoring your big why to push you through the daily challenges to make you really drive you. What's the third thing that could be holding you back? Well, gosh, you don't know what to say. You don't know what to say. You don't know how to say it. You don't know how to handle objections. Well, gosh, there's lots of scripts out there. And when I say scripts, people don't think you have to be, I say start with scripts, all right? Jesse Zagorski just did a great training this morning we had on this. You start with scripts so you know what to say, agents. You practice them, and you take time and you practice them and you internalize them. So you want to memorize what to say, okay? Then you want to internalize it, and then you want to personalize it. So when you pick up the phone and you make a call, you know what to say. So you're not just vomiting and all over, verbal vomiting all over the person who answers the phone. You want to know what to say, how to say it. Of course, the next thing is you need to listen. When you know and internalize scripts, you're listening, but you know exactly kind of how you're going to be able to respond and help them and answer their questions. All right? This gives you confidence. If you're not sure how to do all this, message me. I will help guide you happily. I do it all the time. I've been doing it for years. It's one of my joys. It's one of the reasons I teach a lot of classes. Is I just love helping agents, and I just from what I've been told I'm pretty good at it. So, and I've seen a lot of results, and so have they. So anyway, and I can connect you to other people that do too. All right, so know what to say. That's what could be holding you back. You're just not sure what to say, how to say it, and you're not sure how to handle the objections. So I want to recap on this. Change the story on number 1. Stop being in fear and change the story. Prospecting, people want to hear from me. They're logging into my website because you're marketing. You're marketing to log in and look at homes on your site. You're there. You want to help them. Coming from contribution, change the story. And again, take the action. You're going to find out, oh my gosh, years ago when I was a brand new agent, I started by door knocking, okay? I started farming. Why? Because that's what my broker told me to do. And I didn't know anybody, had no sphere of influence in the Temecula Valley. We moved from San Diego. By the way, I had a newborn, Taylor, who's now going off to college. She was a newborn. We're going to wrap up in a minute. She was a newborn, and I had her in a stroller. And sometimes a wagon. So people remember this. I still have people today that say, I remember when you pulled her in a wagon. I did. I went out in the farm, my neighborhoods, and I would door knock and talk to people. And here's what I found out. Was it scary in the beginning? Yeah, a little bit. But I think I didn't know what I didn't know. I think, guys, you get in your own head too much. Get out of your head and get into action. Get out. I'm going to say that again. Fix my hair. Get out of your head. Get into action. When I started talking to people and door knocking, I was shocked at how many people love to talk about the real estate. Understand, no, I studied, of course, the market. We're professionals, we know the market, understand what's happening. It's why I led in the beginning with a couple statistics. Know what's going on in your local market. Start talking to people. You would be shocked. They want to talk about it. They want to hear about it. We think people follow the market like we do. They don't. They're too busy with their lives. So when you connect with them and they're looking for a house and you can tell them, oh my gosh, our inventory is really low right now. We only have, in Menifee, we only have 124 houses on the market right now. Inventory is really low. And by the way, if you're looking to buy, we need to position you. And then again, I just gave you a whole list of why you need to do that. I hope this is making sense to you. What's holding you back? It shouldn't be anything, hopefully, now, because we are in a hot real estate market. There are lots of sellers that want to sell, but maybe don't understand quite what to do and how to do it. It's up to us agents to help step in and solve the problem. Okay? Lots of buyers that want to buy, but maybe they're not getting their offers accepted and they're getting very frustrated because they haven't been consulted and they haven't been positioned well, right? Agents, by the way, September 24th, I teach the RPA class, and I don't care how long you've been. I teach for the Board of Realtors for, if you're local here, SRCAR, our board. I'm teaching the RPA, the Residential Purchase Agreement class, and I want you to take it, and I don't care how long you've been in the business. Please take this class, because I can't tell you how many times I still see contracts written that are atrocious. And one of the ways you can get offers accepted nowadays, too, when you're putting in multiple offers, is having a very well-written offer. Our contracts change twice a year. And if you're not staying current on those, you're going to have a big problem getting your offer accepted. So I discuss all this, right? Stay current. I love you guys. I'm not even seeing you, but you know what? I get feedback. I get messages. Christy, thank you, dear. Thank you for logging on here. I wish I could see everybody on here, but Debbie again, Kathy, Wesley, all you guys coming on, Jen, Pat, Steve Strickland, Shane, again, there's a whole list of people that are on here, and thanks so much for joining me on the Facebook Live today. This is episode number 12, What's Holding You Back? And folks, be authentic. Don't let things hold you back. Life's too short, and you know what? We just got to go for it, don't we? And you know what? We'll trip and fall along the way, but we all do. And if you have a great circle of people around you, they're going to help pick you back up, and so will I. Have a great day, everybody. I look forward to episode number 13 next week. And if you like, by the way, if you have any ideas or topics you want to discuss, message me that as well. Thanks. Bye.